Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Vanessa, welcome. Thank you all for tuning in, and today we're going to talk about burnout. So this is a large topic obviously, so we're not going to be able to squeeze everything into one video, but we're going to get started and you can post additional questions below, and we're going to make a little series out of this because I'm sure there will be more questions popping up. Maybe you're at the moment going through a burnout, or you don't know what you're going through. Maybe it feels like, is this a burnout? I don't know. Maybe you watched other videos and you're not really sure what's happening inside of you or with you. And so then this video can probably help you to identify if you are going through a burnout. Just FYI, I have a little doggy with me here, and if you hear funny noises in the background, that's just her asking for my attention. So just so you know, let's dive in. I want to answer one of your questions today, so I'm just going to read it out, and no worries, I'm not going to say the name. So if you ever want to send in a question via email or post it in the comments below, I'm happy to share it in a video, because if it matters to one, it matters to many. So I'm just going to read it out here. How is it possible to connect with people that can truly provide emotional support to me and build upon beneficial human relationships when I'm still experiencing social and emotional burnout? I still continuously and heavily experience not wanting to be social, not feeling the desire mostly. And from time to time, I experience feeling the desire to connect with people, but I don't always desire to, come back to them and socialize. And I'm prejudging myself as I write this comment. And there's a little more, but I think this is the main part. Okay, so if you're at the moment in a place where you feel like you don't want to connect with people, it feels exhausting to you, you are in a space where you're actually mentally and emotionally burned out, please listen to your body. You may have the feelings come up like, oh, but I should go out, or if people or friends or colleagues or whoever asks you to come out and you say no and you feel guilty. I get that. I've been there. And when I went through a phase of burnout, I wasn't even aware what I was going through, because it's a relatively new concept, just like anxiety, right? It's very new still, and we're still defining what the symptoms are. And also everybody has different symptoms. And sometimes it's hard to recognize within yourself that you're going through it, because it's not as tangible as a physical ailment where you can see, oh, you have red dots on your forehead or on your arm, or your arm is broken or something, right? So it's harder to identify what you're going through. But just know that what you're going through is valid, even if, say, you go to a traditional doctor and they tell you you're okay. Yeah, still your mental and emotional state are valid. And often people don't allow themselves the rest and the alone time that they need. And I've been going through that too. I often felt very guilty for saying no to my friends, or for saying no to after work drinks when I was still working. That was like 6 years ago, still working, or 7 years ago now, still working in the tech industry. I would not feel at all like wanting to go out, and I would make up excuses because I was just exhausted. And at some point I started saying, look, I don't feel good, I'm gonna stay home, I need to rest. And often in that time, your nervous system is quite dysregulated. So in that time, it can be like you're anxious, very anxious, or you're very low. So we always lean, when our nervous system is dysregulated, towards anxiety or towards depression or towards a freeze state. And the freeze state can feel like you're unable to do anything. So for example, the freeze state is sort of a hyper state of the anxious state, Because when you get so anxious all the time that your system sort of collapses, then you get into the freeze state. And then you're unable to do anything. Yeah, then even getting out of bed may feel a lot, like a lot of work, or going out to the grocery store, or walking your dog, or anything, answering a message. Okay, so you try to see where you are in. Either we are often hyper aroused, which is more the anxious, even panicky state, and the opposite of that is hypo aroused, where we are in a very low state, where we don't want to do anything, we have a hard time feeling happy or alive, we're not dynamic. And this is more the hypo aroused state, and the hyper is like super anxious. Maybe you're spending a lot of time in front of the computer, watching endless videos, scrolling on your phone, watching TV shows all the time. And that can also be in both states that you're doing that. But this is when you overstimulate yourself additionally to your burnout. And that can make things even feel more drastic. And you may even experience like flimmering in your eyes, that you have sort of like a visual migraine, you could call it. It could come into the feeling that it gives you anxiety when you're watching something, I don't know, where's violence or whatever, or you're spending too much time on the screen. Maybe you're not even realizing that this is interconnected, but this can definitely be interconnected. So then it's important to, because being in front of a screen can give you a lot of dopamine, right? Because it's instant gratification. It hits the dopamine up. But then also when you don't do it, you may feel quite like low and like there's no dopamine, no joy in your system. So that's why you return to the screen, to the phone, all these kind of things. So a dopamine detox could really help you. And that is when you, let's say, take a day off all screens and social media and spend the day maybe in nature or walking in the park, being by the lake, whatever works for you, whatever is accessible for you. Even staying at home in that state is okay. As long as you just decide, okay, I'm not going to use any screens today. Maybe I'm going to journal, read a book, whatever, or do nothing. Yeah. So let's come to do nothing. Sorry, I'm a little bit in my throat, something. Often when we feel, coming back to the question that was asked by one of you, if you experience social and emotional burnout, allow that. Yeah, you don't need to justify yourself in front of anybody. I think it's often a good idea to communicate and let people know. So if you have friendships and colleagues and so on where you feel safe, I would really communicate to them, look, I'm going through a time right now where I just need to spend some time alone. So please don't take it personal, but I won't go out for a while. Or you can even tell them, please keep on asking. But at the moment, I might not have the energy just because I'm going through something personal and I just don't know if I will be in the mood. That's what I started communicating to people, to my friends especially. Instead of always saying no and they stopping to ask you, you can tell them that you're going through something, even if you're saying, I don't really know what I'm going through at the moment, but I just need a lot of alone time, or I sometimes don't really feel like committing to an event, because then in the evening when I'm about to go, or in the morning or in the afternoon, I may not feel like it. And that is completely okay to communicate. Just know that. And if you don't feel like you have the courage to communicate, just at least let people know, look, right now I'm not available for going out or whatever. Yeah. I feel like this is something that helped me take off the pressure of showing up for others or being a part of a group. And when we're going through a time where we go through social and emotional burnout, or also mental burnout, I know you don't want to hear that, but I just have to tell you, because I didn't want to hear that. it's so hard to surrender to that, to letting yourself rest and letting yourself be alone. And, especially this unknown about it, like not knowing when it's getting better and not knowing if it's getting better. And also not knowing, if the people that you're now not meeting with are still going to be there. And I can just tell you, you need to prioritize yourself right now. This is so important. And some people will still gonna be there and maybe some not. And you're an adult, you can absolutely handle this, but you need to put yourself first. And if there are people that you trust and that you love and that love you back and trust you as well, you can communicate to them, like I just explained. And you can ask them for support. You can tell them, look, I'm not going to be all the time available, but if you would be up to do like a Saturday morning walk with me in the park, I would love to go. And even let them know, at the moment I'm dealing with anxiety or fatigue or depression, and I just want to let you know, maybe I can just come for an hour. I'm just not gonna know how I'm gonna feel. And if you don't have like this supportive surrounding right now, then honestly, from my own experience, I can just tell you, you're going through a phase of growth. And burnout is your body's way of showing you that something is not in alignment with what you need. Somehow your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual needs aren't met. So it's for you to find out without stress, without pressure, to start listening by listening to your body and to your mind and your emotions. What do you need? And this is a phase for you to get to know yourself on a deeper level. And it may feel super uncomfortable for you right now to go through that. I get it. I've been there. Trust me, I've felt so uncomfortable, and I did not lean into that for a long time until it got so bad that I realized, whoa, okay, like I can really not go out, physically unable to go out. And that's when I realized, okay, I need to lean in and I need to admit to myself that I'm in a burnout and that I cannot do the things the way that I used to do them all the time. And it's a phase, okay? You don't know how long it is. You're watching the video also to hear how long the phase is. Every human being is different. And all I can tell you is the quicker you surrender to where you're at right now and you allow it to happen and you allow yourself to admit to this burnout, the earlier you're going to get out of it. Right? Yes, Marzi. And I know this is painful to realize. I get it. I've been there. But it's also the reality. Right now is the time for you to show up for yourself. And I don't mean this in the way of pressuring yourself in any way or, working hard. Right, the opposite. Think about the things, what feels good to me. You need to practice listening to your body on a daily basis and listening into, okay, so do I really feel like meeting these people today or going to that place? Or would it be overwhelming for me or boring? Or you wouldn't feel safe there, or, you would rather be at home. And I think there are moments when it's good actually to sort of get yourself out of your comfort zone and go to meet your friend or go for a walk or go to an event and so on. But if you are right now in the beginning or in the middle of it, and sometimes I know you may not even know where am I right now in this, trust yourself, trust your body. If there's any excitement you're feeling around going to the event and you're like, oh, actually I would want to go, but I don't know if I can, then it's sometimes good to intentionally decide, all right, you know what, I'm going to go for an hour because that's what feels good for me. And then I'm going to give myself the permission to leave at any time, right? Don't make promises and whatever, and go with that. And then see how that feels like for you, okay? And on the other hand, if you're just not up for it and no part of you wants to go and you only feel guilty, don't go. It's time to put yourself first right now. This is really it. Like, you wouldn't even, we get into those situations to learn what our body needs, how to regulate our system. This is something we should learn in school, but we don't. So, not yet at least. So that's why it's your opportunity, and I know that feels hard, to get in touch with yourself, with your needs, with your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, if you will, needs, okay? To really understand, who am I? What do I need? And this is also an opportunity when we go from unconscious to conscious, right? Like, suddenly we're consciously aware, I'm burnt out. I'm not feeling good sitting all day in front of the computer, or doing this and that. So you may also feel challenged around work, right? Like, how are you going to keep on working? What are you going to do with going to work? And at least in Europe, I don't know how it is across the world. In Europe, I think you can go to the doctor now and tell them, I'm so burnt out, I need so and so much time off work. Yeah. And check if this is something you can do, because this would be really beneficial for you to take that time off. And again, instead of going over your own boundaries because you feel guilty or ashamed in some way, I understand that, and your feelings are valid, but the task here is not to override your needs. The task here is to rather process the guilt and the shame and allow yourself now to actually take the time and the space for yourself to heal and to understand what are your needs. And that brings change. I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you something different, but from my experience, in order to really heal the burnout, I had to change a lot, and I had to surrender to rest. And that doesn't always mean, I know if you have a family or a lot of responsibilities, this may be really hard for you. But sit yourself down with your partner or whoever you're responsible for, or whoever you are in relationship with, and see what can be done for you to like lower your workload in some way so that you can begin to heal. Because if you keep on going like this, it's not going to be beneficial, and it's not going to help your health or the well-being of your family or whoever you are in relationship with. And it's also not going to support your job and what you're doing for work or career or whatever. So this is really an opportunity for you. And I know how hard it is, and it feels like, is it ever going to stop? It will, if you lean in and allow yourself to really change things and look inside and acknowledge, hey, I know we don't want this and this is inconvenient, but there is something that we need to look at. And, you can also check in with a psychologist or with like a clinically trained person, but I would really recommend you to work also somebody who works somatically, so that you can go inward, because often when we are inclined to go into burnout, there are stories from our childhood that led us to get to the path of burnout, So you'll also have to work on your inner parts and on your relationship to your worth, to your deservingness, and whatever that is dependent on. And that often has to do with our history and with our emotional wounds. Yeah, so that is definitely a part of it. And again, let me just come back one more time to answering, to see if I answered all of your question. Yeah, don't force yourself to go out. And your question about how am I going to have people that emotionally support me? First of all, we need to open up to the people that we love and that we feel safe with. If that is not an option, if you feel like at the moment in your life you don't have people you can open up to, then I would really recommend work with somebody, work with a therapist, a coach of some kind. If you want to see if we want to work together, you can get in touch and see if this is a fit for you. Or, go to places and take part in things that make you feel like supported, and sometimes that also means we need to take a leap of faith, no matter if it means opening up to a friend, to a family member, to your partner, to a colleague, to a therapist. It's just as much as a question of you opening up and trusting somebody else with what you're going through, as much as it is a question of, hey, are these people willing to hold space for you? And what I found is that most people that I had back then in my circle wouldn't actually understand what I was going through. So I had one or two people that I would open up to and that I could even call late at night when I had a panic attack, that knew exactly, hey, I will be here and I choose to be here for you. And then I also once in a while went to events where I felt held, like a sound bath, or I also went to like the people that I studied with, like that I then later studied with, were before my therapist. So I went to a somatic therapist who helped me understand my nervous system, who helped me understand my needs and what I'm actually grieving. Because when we're burned out, we're also often, not always, but grieving something. Our inner child, maybe grieving not feeling enough or feeling too much. And so this is like a whole inner process. And I would really recommend you that if you feel like I need emotional support and you don't have at least one person around you, definitely seek professional help. That's what I did, and that was really, really supportive for me. And I know from my clients that, sometimes their family members or friends wouldn't know how to deal with certain things they're going through. That's why they come and work with me, or you can work with other people, like just choose somebody. But make sure that your needs are met with the person, that you feel trusting, that you can open up, okay? That is really important. And then also ask yourself, what would really make me feel supported? Would it be, I go to a weekly yoga session, or I go to swim, I go once a week here or there? Because the things that you're going to choose to soothe you and support you as an actions, in those places, you're also going to find new people that you can relate to and that relate to you. And this is also something you just need to trust. It's been a journey for me, but the more I leaned into my own healing and my own path with that, the more I met people that I could really relate to and that have become really important, supportive people in my life. So this is really important that you right now put yourself first. It's not selfish. You're figuring out, you're putting your, how do you say, in the airplane, you're putting your oxygen mask on first, so that then you can also show up for others. Because maybe you've been showing up for others so much, and when our cup is empty, we cannot really go and be there, right? Nor for our job, nor for our loved ones or anything else. And so right now it's your job to fill your own cup and to invite people to help you fill up your cup. So that may be whatever. Think about what would really feel good to you. Is it a massage? Is it a walk in nature? Is it doing a trip? Whatever it is, even if you have a very limited budget, there's always something you can do for yourself. But you need to start investing your time and energy in figuring out what that is. And if it is laying in bed for 3 days, for 5 days, for 7 days for now, that's okay. Obviously, you don't always want to be laying only in bed. But if this is something that could help you right now, do it. Really, I did this many times where I just was at home because I was unable to do anything else. And I felt guilty for a long time, but I focused on processing the guilt and allowing myself to do that rather than needing to go around and be productive without actually being productive, So let's all take a deep breath in through the nose, deep into the belly, out through the mouth. Learning to breathe is great as well. If you ever wanted to join one of our group breathwork sessions, I do them monthly. They really help to release pressure and emotional pain and stress. You can find the next upcoming date in the description below. If you feel like you need more one-on-one support, you can also get in touch with me. There's all the info down below. And so thank you for tuning in. Share in the comments what you're going through, because I'm happy to answer your questions, and also other people will feel less alone. Like I said, so often this community is here for connection and support and getting you to feel safe and held. So I know this journey that you're on right now is hard, and sometimes it's even hard to allow yourself to do the things that feel really good, like doing nothing or not socializing. Yeah, so you can even start journaling a bit if this is something you'd like to do. Like, what do I feel right now when I don't go and socialize, right? And you who asked the question, thank you so much for asking this question and being so vulnerable and open. You're helping a lot of people with that. And I want to let you know that you deserve to just rest. Whenever you feel like you want to go, follow also your intuition, even if you say, all I'm going to do today is go to a cafe and have a cappuccino. Yeah, do that. Maybe on the way there, the sun is coming out, or you're going to have a nice smile with a stranger or whatever, do the tiny things. Or if you feel like, oh my God, I just want to make my house a little nicer, I'm going to buy myself a little plant. It doesn't always need to be about money either. It can just be a hot shower or whatever. Yeah, so follow the little things. People always think the big things make all the changes, but it's actually the little things. So start by that. Yeah, little by little by little by little, you will get there. And also don't feel like you need to answer to this video, because the person who sent in the question also said, I'm not sure if I will even have the energy to answer you if you answer to my question. So don't feel the pressure to answer. It's all good. Do you. That's the most important thing. Do you. Okay? If you have any questions, drop them below. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up. That would really help me to make more videos for all of you and help more people. And if you think somebody could benefit from this video, share it with them. If you haven't yet, subscribe. And you've got this. Trust, because this is the time where you develop your inner trust to yourself. Okay? You've got this. I love you, and I see you in another video.